All right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing your daily horoscope for Sunday Fun Day, the 18th of July, 2021. We've got the moon moving through the early and middle degrees in the sign of Scorpio. Deep emotions. This is dealing with the taboo, the occult, the things in our lives, the emotions, the passions, the desires, the power struggles, the control issues. This is dealing with our obsessive nature, perhaps. If we're obsessing about something, repeating, like we talked about the past couple of days, that record on repeat, this is just like intensifying. It was like we put, something under the magnifying glass just over and over and over. And that was definitely where we started the day at, with Jupiter trine to the moon. And we're going to have Jupiter septile to the moon as the day moves on today. So we're still going to have part of it. Jupiter's that magnifying glass of saying abundance and more. And we have Jupiter and the moon both in water signs dealing with emotions, dealing with the non-physical. And Jupiter just says more, and the moon says, okay, this is what I need right now. What I need, is to search in my soul, the shadows of my soul. We're doing the shadow work. All right, let me show you the chart here, show you what's going on. It's messy. There's a lot. There's just so much going on. But what we're looking at right now is this quintile right here, light blue line down to Venus, moon to Venus. We're looking at Venus septile to the south node, a connection that we had yesterday. The moon creating this semi-sextile over to the south node. This is a good chunk of what this is about. This is saying when we decide to do the work. Look at excavation. If you're trying to dig up bones or something, you're not going to find anything unless you actually start digging. Unless we get the shovel out, unless we get the tools necessary, unless we actually set up camp and put the shovel to the dirt, we're not excavating anything. Where it's just an idea, it's a thought. Or, those bones exist beneath the surface. These shadows exist beneath the surface. There is some deep-rooted issue, pain, trauma. There's something going on beneath the surface, and it will remain there until we decide to do the work. That's what this energy is suggesting right now. It's just like, okay, you felt this for a long time. It's time to clear it out. It's time to do this work. So we have a lot in our favor today. The quintile, remember a quintile is similar to the septile, where it's a fate connection or the universe helping you out, but this is a creative way about doing something. So where this, might say, I've only got, limited resources, I'm not sure how to, I'll share this with you. So this is actually at an example. I was at an ayahuasca ceremony, and this is something someone shared in the group the next morning, and they said they saw their issue, problem, the pain, the trauma, whatever it was in their lives, and they saw it as a well. Okay, and this well was so deep, and when they confronted this well, it's just like bucket by bucket. They're trying to clear out this emotional pain, this emotional trauma, this thing that's so deeply embedded into them. And so, it's like they started off in their journey, this bucket, let's go. And then it got to this point where it's just like, oh my God, this is a freaking well. And I'm going to be here the rest of my life freeing my karma or freeing this whatever. And the medicine, this very strong, wise, brilliant medicine, if you've ever worked with it, showed him a different way, a creative, different way to go about clearing this well out, because he asked for help. And that's part of the thing here, I think, with the universe in general, is when we surrender, which a lot of this water energy, we got Mercury, the sun, both making connections to the moon today. Neptune and Jupiter, both in water signs. Pisces making connections to Neptune, connections to the moon in the water sign of Scorpio today. So that water sign of Scorpio is all this hidden stuff, the stuff that we keep buried, and it's just like we want to bring it to the surface. So this creative energy of Venus in the sign of Leo, connecting with the moon, saying, how do we, if we want to feel passionate about this stuff, we've got this well, okay, this is our connection with the South Node. We need a creative way to release this. Emotionally, I'm there. What I value myself, I want to move this out of the way, both creating a creative and fate connection to the South Node, the moon as well to the South Node. So back to this story with my friend in the ceremony, asking, how do I do this? Bucket by bucket. I need another way. And just like that, it's almost as soon as the request was asked and put out there. Sometimes it's all it takes is us saying something, confirming, saying yes to something into the world responds back. And he said, just like that, from underneath, the ground lifted and pushed everything up and out of the well. So instead of taking this like normal like mind's approach to like bucket by bucket, the medicine had a different way of handling this, or a different way of showing my friend a way of healing this, and go from underneath up and out. Okay, so the universe here is saying there might be a different way to handle this deep-rooted pain. There might be a different way to handle some of this trauma that's different from how we're used to going about it, and to being open to those experiences, and to simply asking the universe, and the universe will respond and hopefully help you out and push and clear that stuff out of the way. So not only do we have this happening early in the morning, we have this trine over here to Mercury, communication. This is about asking. And we have a septile over here to the sun. This is sun saying like, look, I have to shine my light on my shadows. This is part of my responsibility. Now, the moon's square to Saturn here. Saturn in Aquarius. This is part of my responsibility. This is part of my karma. This is part of my fate. This is part of my entanglement for me to do this work, for me to clear out what's going on underneath the rug. So that way we're not getting tripped over what's underneath the rug that I swept there later on in life. It's simple. Doesn't mean its execution is simple. We have this as well, Venus now creating this septile to Uranus in Taurus. Now Venus rules Taurus, so this is extremely powerful connection. Venus really feeling the fire here in Leo, Uranus working through a very difficult place. This is Uranus's least in the zodiac, this is its least favorite place to be in Taurus, because it's the most challenging, it's the most difficult to go through. Something we've talked about the past couple of days. We need friction, we need challenges in our lives. This shows us our strength, this shows us. I just posted this thing the other day. It was like a really sad story, but empowering at the same time. It was this experiment done in the 1950s with rats. And these people would put these rats in these little, water tanks, and see how long the rat would swim. And about 15 minutes, these rats would eventually stop swimming and sink. And then just as they started to do that, somebody would come in, a lab person would come in and rescue the rat and bring it out and dry it off for a few minutes before they put the rat back into the water again. Now, it was pretty unanimous. This is interesting. It was pretty unanimous that about 15 minutes, and these rats would sink. That's about as much time as they had in this water, as they thought there was no way out, there's no hope. And all of a sudden, salvation comes, somebody else sees them struggling. Okay, this is that quintile and septile energy. The rat doesn't see it, but this is fate and destiny coming in to help out, okay? So the researcher brings her hand in, dries the rat off, and puts it back in again. Now, this experiment, again, I'm not a fan of experiments in animals. This was done in the 50s, and it was done, and I'm going to share this with you because I think it's powerful. So they put the rats back in, expecting 5, 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes again for the rat to swim water before it gave up. The rats, 60 hours. The rats swam for 60 hours, which is painful and torturous to do to any animal. I wouldn't want to swim for 60 hours. But it's just like the thought in the back of the mind, or this is what the scientists came to conclusion with, that because the rat had seen salvation, because it had hope that someone was going to come and save it, it decided to hold out a little bit longer, to sustain a little bit longer, a little bit more. That's kind of the energy between Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus and Aquarius. Okay, these are our fixed signs. This is saying you've got so much more in you than you really think that you have. You might have given up after 15 minutes, but the truth is you have 60 hours worth in you. And you can really push yourself to go that far. You can push yourself to go those great deals, those limits, and just knowing you don't have to give up. You don't, and even if you do, when we say enough is enough, the universe is here. The universe has our back. The universe, something's going to come. Something is going to be that sense of salvation. So I don't know, kind of a cool story. So yeah, that's what some of this fixed energy is about here. Now we got the moon opposing Uranus, square to Saturn. So we've got a T-square going on. This is challenging. But the reward to this particular alignment is extremely powerful, because this is saying, once again, if you do the work, if you decide to really lift up the rug and sweep out all the crap from underneath it, what this is showing about your character. Here's another thing, quintile here to Pluto in Capricorn. The moon is quintile to Pluto in Capricorn. So this is like, again, this is a creative way of stepping up and stepping into your power. And then as we're moving on, ending our day, we've got the trine to Mercury still happening. We're starting a trine to Neptune and a septile to Jupiter. So a lot of water energy. Still forming the T-square here. So it's like we have this like limitless possibility. It's like we can flow as far as we need to flow. It's like the stream here can meet the ocean. We can expand, we can grow, we can do all of this stuff. We have to be willing to do the work. We have to be willing to put in the effort to dig or to remove, to clear out. It's not an option. It's something that the universe is telling us right now. Almost like the communication. I can't lie. Like, I'm always kind of shocked. I am. Like, just because I'm the person reading this doesn't mean that I know everything and am exempt from the harsh, raw lessons of life. And just this morning here on Saturday morning, and we're talking about vulnerable communication on Friday, or for Saturdays, and it's just like, I ended up having a conversation with my mentor this morning that was like, whoa, such a deep, open, powerful conversation. It's like, wow, I had no idea that was coming or what was. And it feels like, it's something I literally talked about yesterday, where there's like that weight and it just lifted and gone. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I love astrology. So we have all of this beautiful energy that's like working for us. This powerful friction that when we do something about it, it creates this healing space. And that's what the world is trying to teach us right now, to heal, to step up and, empower ourselves and take responsibility for ourselves, our actions. Take responsibility for our own healing. I think that's a big one with this energy right now, is like so many people want to be like given a pill. Like, here's my healing pill. Oh yeah, I took the pill and now I'm a perfect human being and I'm happy and whatever. It's like, no, somebody else can't create something for you that creates your own happiness. That's comes from within. And the universe is teaching us this. And it's like, come back to that. Like, this is okay. Find your own peace, find your own joy. And what happiness is for somebody, their pill might not be the pill that you need to create your own. And whatever it is that's going on that's stopping you from viewing or perceiving, it's like, this is what the world wants from us, essentially. Like, we need conflict, but essentially this is joy. It's a joy and a privilege to have a body, to be alive, to connect with other human beings, to breathe air and touch grass and eat pears and stuff. I don't know, life's pretty cool. So the universe wants us to remind us of that and to do the work so that we can appreciate the stuff. Okay. Happy Sunday fun day, my friends. I love you. Wish you enough on this beautiful day. We'll see you tomorrow.